Welcome to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody talking. My name's Griffin, and I'll be your host for this edition of Toastmaster Time. Now, just like in any Toastmaster club, we are going to have prepared speeches for you on the television tonight. And there are actually two sides to the coin with Toastmasters. There's the communications track, which is probably the one most people think of who know anything about Toastmasters. But there's also a leadership track. And it's very appropriate that we now have with us Trich Gray, who's going to be talking about the communications track. Welcome to Toastmaster Time.
Thank you. It's nice to see you again.
Well, it's certainly nice to see you. I don't think you're any stranger to people who've seen past editions of this show because you've been involved as both the host, evaluator, and also behind the scenes. But
you know, we're flexible.
And tonight you're going to give us a speech.
I am.
On the communications aspect of Toastmasters. And which club are you representing?
I'm representing the Speakers Forum tonight.
That's right, yeah, I'm familiar with that club. It's an advanced club, right?
It is. It's for, we start out with the competent communicator, kind of working on the basics. Then you move into the advanced manuals. And our club, the Speakers Forum, is for people who want to move beyond the competent communicator and work with the advanced manuals.
So it's the advanced aspects of communication, but there's also the basic aspects, which I think all Toastmasters can revisit and learn from.
And you know, it's interesting because you work on the fundamentals, which is learning to use body movement, how to use your voice, and you carry those into the advanced manuals, but you specialize in the advanced manuals, but you still need the fundamentals. And it's always good to revisit the fundamentals once in a while.
Right, which is, I think, some of what you're going to do this evening. So
I'm going to do my best.
Great. Well, so you're ready to give your talk?
I am.
All right. Well, I'll give you time to get ready. And while you get set up, I'll tell the viewers something about the objectives of the speech. So we're going to see Trich give the speech number 3 from the Competent Communicators Manual, which is a set of 10 speeches. And this one focuses on organizing the speech. We'll be looking for, she will have been helped to prepare this by the manual by focusing her attention on the outline of the speech, on the clarity with which she communicates the concepts, as well as the transitions between each concept. So those are some of the objectives that Trich will be focusing on as she gives her speech. So without further ado, let's hear from Trich Gray giving a speech called the Toastmasters Communication Track. The Toastmasters Communication Track, Trich Gray.
I was once a Toastmasters area governor. My responsibility was to oversee 4 clubs by teaching them about Toastmasters and doing whatever I can to make them be more successful. I visited one of the clubs that I'd never met any of these people before. When I got there, the president got up, proudly gave a speech titled, "Why I Don't Give Manual Speeches." Oh my gosh, he did this in front of his new area governor, me. I demanded equal time so I could explain the Toastmasters communication track and why I believe we should follow it. Now, I understand that not everyone wants to learn how to speak in front of 30 people or 100 people. Some people just want to be able to be more comfortable speaking at a weekly sales meeting in front of their boss, or being able to speak impromptu at a social gathering. No matter what your goals are, I believe following the Toastmasters educational program will help you reach those goals. To do that, I'm going to cover 3 areas. The first area is, what is the Toastmasters communication track? Point 2 is, what are some of those advanced manuals? And finally, why we should follow the Toastmasters communication program. So let's start first with, what is the communication program? There are 2 tracks, as Ian said, the leadership as well as the communication track. I'm only going to talk about the communication track. You start with the competent communicator. It's 10 speeches working on fundamentals, such as how to organize your speech, how to choose words that make your paint pictures in your audience's mind. You work with how to use visual aids or how to use body movements to enhance your message. I did a speech about dancing with the stars. That was kind of fun. Once you complete the competent communicator, you then move into the advanced tracks. You start with advanced communicator bronze. You need to complete 2 advanced manuals. There's a total of 15. Each advanced manual has 5 speeches, so you end up doing 10 speeches. From there, once you get bronze, you move on to advanced communicator silver. For silver, you're going to do 2 additional manuals, 10 more speeches. Can't be the same 2 manuals you did for bronze. But in addition, you now have to give 2 speeches from either the Successful Club Series or Better Speaker Series. In the Successful Club Series, you would have topics such as mentoring new members, how to evaluate to motivate, club roles and responsibilities. For the Better Speaker Series, you would have topics such as how to organize your speech, how to control your fear, and topics such as that, such as impromptu speaking. Once you complete silver, you move to gold. For Advanced Communicator Gold, 2 more advanced manuals, but now you have to mentor a new Toastmaster through the first 3 speeches, and you have to give a module from the either Success Communication or Success Leadership track. I did the From Speaker to Trainer program, which teaches speakers how to use some of the techniques that trainers use in terms of getting audience participation. That way you can, as a speaker, learn to involve your audience more. You can also put on a youth leadership program. That's an awesome program. Talk about giving back to the community, teaching high school and junior high students the art of public speaking. Think of it as when you start with the competent communicator, it's for yourself. You're working on your skills. But then as you progress through bronze, silver, and gold, you're giving back to your club and then to your community, taking those skills you've learned and putting them to use. All right, so that's the program. So let's move to point 2, which is, what are these advanced manuals? There are 15 advanced manuals. Depending on what your interests are, there's got to be a manual that you'll find interesting. For example, professional speakers tell us that you want to add stories to make your message memorable. How about the storytelling manual? Are you a manager? Speeches by management. Maybe facilitating discussion if you need to put together a brainstorming session with your coworkers. There's speaking on television. Do you think you might ever have to speak to a reporter? How about the public relations manual? And you got to do the specialty speeches manual. That's all about giving an award, receiving an award, that's my favorite one, or giving a toast, oh, roasting your boss, now that's a great speech. Whatever your interests are, there's got to be an advanced manual that will take you where you want to go. And that leaves us with our 3rd point, which is why? Why should we follow the Toastmasters communication program? Well, you could do it for the pretty certificates. But I don't think that's the best reason to follow the program. I think you want to think about what you're gaining inside, the skills that you're growing with. And wouldn't it be so much better if you had to speak in front of a reporter, do a speech from the public relations manual so you get comfortable with it, then when you have to do it in real life, in front of a real audience, you'll have already had the experience of doing that in a safe, supportive environment in your club. Horseman says, a human being has not attained their full heights until they are educated. And I agree. That is why I support the Toastmasters communication track.
Well, thank you, Trish. That was an organized speech. And it was also describing an organized system. You'll see, as you've just heard, Toastmasters is organized in 10 speeches to begin with, then through levels, bronze, silver, gold. Everything Trish described and engages people in the practical skills that they need to learn to be excellent public speakers. Well, for now, we have to take a short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. You're watching Toastmaster Time.
Name an effective political leader in history who couldn't speak well.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There aren't any.
Because when it comes to a disease,
Freedom requires leadership, and leadership requires oratory. You have to speak to be heard.
I have a dream.
It's all about personal growth and guts.
Never give in. Never, never, never.
I'm here with our second guest, Justin Lola. Justin, welcome to Toastmaster Time.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad you came. Now, we've switched gears because we've just heard from Trich, who talked about the communications side or the communications track of Toastmasters, but you're here to tell us about leadership. So which club are you a member of?
The Leadership Club in Oakland.
That's a very appropriate club name. So is it an advanced club, or is it a club that is for basic speakers as well?
It's an advanced club, but also basic speakers can attend as well. And we meet weekly. Weekly at 7 o'clock in the evenings, Oakland at DeVry University.
Okay, so it's open to anybody. We can probably find it online, like all Toastmasters clubs.
Absolutely.
And how long have you been in Toastmasters altogether?
I've been in Toastmasters for 10 plus years, so I like to be actively involved, although I took a little hiatus there while my daughter was growing up. Okay. But I'm back.
Congratulations. How old is your daughter now?
She's 8 years old now. Okay,
so you had a few years there with the more intensive child rearing. And you've had some experience, though, as I understand, at the leadership level. You organized a conference for Toastmasters back in the day?
2005, yeah. When the international president came out, they asked me to run the conference. So I was able to get some fantastic speakers, and we had a fabulous conference that year. It was excellent.
Well, I'd love to hear more about your leadership approach and your skills. We'll have that communicated to us in the speech you're about to give. I also want to let viewers know you will be back after the speech. We'll have a more in-depth conversation. But are you ready to give your talk now?
I am. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, I'll give you a minute or two to get set up while I tell people about the program that Toastmasters International has. You know, Toastmasters is an established organization that's been around for many years. There's over 250,000 members worldwide in many dozens of countries. And they've all got one thing in common. People join Toastmasters to overcome the fear of public speaking. It's well known that this is the #1 fear apparently people have, is speaking in public. There's no better environment than Toastmasters to learn how to overcome that fear in a very structured and organized way, as Trich described. And as we're about to hear, you can also develop leadership skills as part of the program as well. So now, to tell us more about leadership, I'd like to welcome our second speaker, who's going to present his speech. Please welcome Justin Lola, the Leadership Club. The Leadership Club, Justin Lola.
About a year ago, I felt the need to succeed and get re-engaged in the Toastmasters district events. I was usually going 100 miles an hour with fire in my hair, although I need a little more hair now. But I wanted to get re-engaged. So I called up Wiki Verma, the spring conference chair, and I told Wiki, I'm there to help. Give me a small role where I can help you out. And Wiki said, Justin, I need an education chair. An education chair? I said, a small role, Wiki. That's a huge role. He said, I know, Justin. I know it's the end of February, and I've got only 2 months to do this. I really need your help. Oh, I said, all right, normally, absolutely, maybe, I would say no if I didn't have any conference experience. But I have a lot of conference experience. I've probably helped in 5 different conferences. So yes, I will help you, Wiki. And I thought about it. I'm like, wow, what did I just do? I need some help with this. You know, there's a Toastmaster program called the High Performance Leadership Program. And in layman's terms, this means project management, project leadership. And let's see, how many years have I done project leadership? 1, 2, 3, forever. I've been doing it forever, so it's no big deal to me. But I needed a guidance committee for my high performance leadership program. So I called up my buddy, Tyree Johnson. Tyree, I need your help. I need a guidance committee. I need it fast to help with this spring conference. He said, Justin, come to the Leadership Club. This is what we do. We are your guidance committee. I'm like, no way. He says, yeah. Like, oh my God, is this for real? A club that's actually a guidance committee. So I went on Wednesdays, 7 o'clock at DeVry University in Oakland. And I attended these, and I gave the 5 stages of the High Performance Leadership Program. And I got some great feedback. It was a round-robin feedback, so I could hear from different members throughout the meetings. It was awesome. And the spring conference went over. It was exceptional. The speakers were exceptional. I had succeeded. I had found a nugget, and I didn't even know it, a golden nugget within the district. This wasn't the end of the journey. Toastmaster leadership also had an institute that was coming up in June, the Summer Institute, where all the club officers come and get trained. They were looking for workshops. Tyree offered to give one on high-performance leadership program. And of course, there was Justin again, helping out. I said, Tyree, I just finished it. I have all this experience. It's fresh. Let me help you. He says, yes, Justin, you can. So we were able to actually draw out what the whole workshop was going to be. We were able to practice it over and over again, and the workshop ended up fabulous. We gave 2 of those sessions at the TLI, or Toastmaster Leadership Institute, and these were packed sessions. People, they were just swarming in, and they loved it. It was great. Folks, I have found the mother lode. Every district should have a leadership club. How can you get all this experience in one place every week? We had 10 distinguished Toastmasters. If you add up all those years of experience, it's over 100 years. And I'm not talking about 60-year-old guys or gals sitting on a porch drinking iced tea and watching the grass grow. These are active members of Toastmasters. They're area governors, division governors. These are DLI teens. These are folks that actively engage in Toastmaster program, and they want to take it to the next level. This is awesome to find all this wealth of experience and knowledge. If you want to know anything about conferences, if you want to know anything about leadership track, if you want to know anything about the makeup training, if you want to know anything about youth leadership, if you want to know anything about the successful club series, we've got the knowledge, we've got the know-how, we have the experience. The Leadership Club is for anyone. It's not just for distinguished Toastmasters. It is for everyone. We've got members that are 3 months new. They love it because they get all this experience right there every week. We've got area governors. We've got division governors. We have district leaders in there. They're all there with all this knowledge and all this information, and it's there for you every week. I invite you to attend. We'll see you there.
Well, that was a great speech from Justin. And don't go away. We have to take a short break, but I'll be back in conversation with Justin, Lola, to find out a little more about what the implications of leadership are. So you're watching Toastmaster Time Television. We'll be right back.
Name an effective political leader in history who couldn't speak well.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There aren't any.
Because when it comes to a disease,
Freedom requires leadership, and leadership requires oratory. You have to speak to be heard.
I have a dream.
It's all about personal growth and guts.
Never give in. Never, never, never.
Welcome back. You're watching Toastmaster Time, and I'm here with Justin, who's just given an amazing speech on your experience with the Leadership Club.
Thank you.
Now, what I'm interested in knowing is this club just for advanced members? Or you mentioned at one point that anybody can join, but surely you're looking for people with some experience of leadership, aren't you?
Well, we're looking for folks that have experience, but it's open to everybody, because we want to take people from where they're at to the next level. So you can have no experience at all, and you rapidly learn about Toastmasters, how to speak well, and you jump into leadership positions. But also it could be for distinguished Toastmasters. And there's a lot of them that get to a certain level and they have nothing else to do. They don't know what to do. So guess what? You can reach at a higher level using this club.
Now, it sounded from your talk that you were thrown in at the deep end when you first stepped up to the, you were given this education role. Is that typical of leadership, or is there more of a gradual introduction that's available?
Usually it's a more gradual introduction. I started out as a club leader, moved to area governor, division governor, And then, yeah, you get more responsibilities over time. And if you want to help out at conferences, you can be a member at first, and then you can be a committee chair, and then eventually you may become a conference chair.
Okay.
So yeah, there are steps there that you can take.
Right. And what you're describing, though, is true of all Toastmasters clubs, right? From the every club, it's not just for speakers, like Trich was describing the communication track, but built into every club, people from filling the role of Toastmaster somebody needs to fill that. It's not assigned to the same person every week, is it?
Yeah, so you've got leadership positions just within the meetings. You've got general evaluator, you have Toastmaster, and then you have the club officer positions. You can be president or vice president of education. There's so many leadership positions. You can do it on a weekly basis, or you can take on the club officer position for the next 6 months or 12 months.
But tell me more, though, about, as many members know, but some people might be watching who aren't familiar with the structure of Toastmasters. We're in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we hear this phrase, District 57. I mean, is that many dozens of clubs that have come together?
Yeah, so there's approximately 150 clubs in a district. The district is broken up into different divisions. We've got Division A through Division G, and each of those divisions are in certain areas. Like in Fremont, there may be a Fremont in part of Milpitas. There may be one in Danville and Alamo. There's another one in Vallejo. So they're in different sections of District 57. And the head of those are division governors.
Okay.
And then within each division, they're broken up into areas. And there could be 5 or 6 areas, which are the leaders are area governors. So then those area governors have 5 or 6 clubs underneath them. So then they help out those leaders, those club leaders in those clubs to be successful.
And what you're describing in your club is a gathering place for many people with those kind of years of experience of leadership in those larger groupings.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal to have all that experience there because, I mean, everything that we do in Toastmasters, if you want to know anything about it, you've got someone that's experienced it firsthand.
Right. Now, I understand your plans include stepping up to a leadership role. Can you tell me something about that?
Well, I'm looking at, and we haven't had an election yet, I'm looking at stepping up to be the president of the club because I want to take it to the next level. I'm looking at taking it where it is right now, which is in a good state, but I'm looking at taking it up so that we can have more exposure to the district. I'm looking at bringing in speakers from the commercial side, who are, for example, Noah, the founder of Noah's Bagels, have them come in, talk about leadership. So it'll help our Toastmasters know that they can use their skills not only in Toastmasters, but take it out to the real world and utilize those. And that's what we really want to do.
Right. And now, tell me then on a personal level, what impact has this, not just this experience of leadership, but you must have had other experiences in your life, right? I mean, when were you first exposed to leadership? Was it in the Boy Scouts? Were you a leader there or later on in life?
You know, I never really took on a leadership position until I went into Toastmasters. And that's because I just didn't feel like I could. I didn't have the confidence. So I joined Toastmasters. I was terrified of speaking. I got over the hump. And then I saw, wow, I've got a lot more potential here. So I started taking on some club leadership positions. And I thought that was great, and I just became more confident. I was able to speak well. Okay.
And what, can you relate that to your day job or other aspects of your life?
Definitely.
Has it had payoff?
Yeah, so I was in a tech support engineer position, and there's not a whole lot of places you can go with that. You could be maybe the manager.
Yeah, I've been there and I've done that. I was in tech support too.
Yeah, so I was like, I want to move on. I want to get some more money. Yeah. So I started going to Toastmasters. I was able to speak extremely well, and then I moved to another company. And I got a raise. Right? So then that was great. I disappeared from Toastmasters a little bit because, you know, I'm making all the money. And then I was like, I want to get some more money. I want to move up to the management position. So I went to Toastmasters, again, got a lot of confidence, and then I got a manager position at a financial firm. In technology. So that was awesome. And I thought, well, why don't I just stay in the program instead of bouncing in and out, because obviously I get benefit from it. So then I got more involved in Toastmasters. I went up the chain, the area governor, division governor, and I was able to get a director position.
In your day job?
in my day
Okay,
job.
okay.
Yeah. So obviously it was paying off.
That's great.
And now I'm a vice president for a financial firm. So it's paid off
Congratulations.
tremendously.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm looking at what's the next step for me, and I could be, you know, a senior vice president or a CIO in a company, and to me, it's no big deal. Because I have the confidence.
Well,
now.
it's wonderful to hear that, because I'm often surprised in Toastmasters organizations, meetings, that we don't see more fast-track managers in companies. You know, I've been in clubs which were part of a corporation, like many clubs are, and you generally get junior people, but I think it would be interesting to look maybe 5 years ahead and see how fast-track some of those junior people are. So to wrap up, if you had to summarize your philosophy or the lesson of leadership, is there a way you'd sort of put it in a nutshell to tell people who might be considering this the impact it can have?
Yeah, so what you're really doing as a leader is you're enabling others to meet their potential. So you want them to be like you, you know, reach your potential and do it as quickly as you can.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for coming along, giving the talk, and also about the Leadership Club, and also giving us a little more insight in this conversation. And good luck with your presidency. I hope you get elected. And
I look forward to it, yeah.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you very much, Ian.
You're welcome. Well, that's our show for this evening. You've been watching Toastmaster Time, and we tape our show here in the San Francisco Bay Area in the Palo Alto Media Center. If you'd like more information, go to our website at toastmastertime.com, where you'll find an archive of past shows. We're part of District 57, as we were just talking about, and you can find that at d57tm.org. And finally, if you'd like to know about the Toastmaster International Organization, go to toastmasters.org. We'd like to thank the staff and volunteers here at the Palo Alto Media Center, without which this show wouldn't be possible. I'm your host, Ian Griffin, and thanks again to our guest speakers, Trich and Justin. You've been watching Toastmaster Time, and we invite you to keep watching and keep talking.